Hello everyone. How are you all doing tonight? Happy Monday. I will give things just a moment to catch up and make sure that we're live while I pull up everything on my page here so I can follow along in case you guys have any questions. All right. Hi Ramona, how are you? Just making sure, there we go, we don't have any sound playing on the other end. Otherwise we get this funky feedback, right? You're able to see, if you don't mind Ramona, just comment and let me know that everything is showing up okay for you at your end. Today, the Wi-Fi seems to be okay, so fingers crossed that we are all good. I apologize, it's quite far away. I can actually see the feed today, so I can see that it's rather zoomed out, but maybe one day I'll figure out how to do the zoom in, zoom out type of thing for you guys. All right, so I'm Alana Worf. I am Sleepless Stamper. I'm in Winnipeg, Manitoba in Canada, and I am a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. I am in the midst of a daily series of something old, something new, where I am showing you guys some outgoing product and some incoming product. So we have a annual catalog that is retiring. The last day is April 30th, and then we have a new catalog coming in May 1st. So I'm doing projects that are a mix of old and new, or maybe I'm casing a design of something old and creating something new with different product. So there is different variations of the something old, something new. And today I have this Silly Goose card to create for you guys. Silly Goose is the name of the stamp set that is in the annual catalog that is retiring. This one is on, gosh, I did this to you guys yesterday. I forgot to bring the catalog that is marked with the discounted price. I think this one, oh jeepers, I'm showing you guys the new catalog. That's not allowed. Let me see. I believe it's no, it's not page 55. That's the other stamps that I was contemplating doing today. Let me see. Silly Goose is on page 51. There we go. So this is Silly Goose. It is regular $34. I believe it's 50% off because I think it's down to $17 with the last chance list. And it was in low inventory earlier today. So if this is one that you want to get before it's gone, I would say don't delay. We also have a new clearance rack refresh happening this evening or late tonight. It will be 1 a.m. Mountain Time that it will go live. And whenever we have another sale combined, it will cause things that are on the last chance list to sell out because people add on to their orders. So if you have anything that you are contemplating getting, and whether it's in low inventory or not, especially the low inventory items, but even things that are not in low inventory tend to sell out once an additional sale like the clearance rack comes along with it. So my advice is don't delay if you have something that you want to get. And then I will also be staying up until the clearance rack goes live. So if there is something that you want from the last chance list, hey Linda, and you want me to add it, or if you are up at that hour and you want to send something to me, you're welcome to. If you want to just go ahead on your own and make sure that you get in on that sale, you can always use this host code that is here. Just let me know if you can actually see this. On my end, I can, but I just want to make sure it's working for you guys. 12 Mountain, 1 Central. Yes, I'm sorry if I said that incorrectly, but that's the right time, Ramona. So hopping online and using this host code is your quickest bet to get items that you want, rather than taking the time to message me, but I am happy to try for you. This is just your most surefire way to try and get those things. With a $65 order, you will qualify for a free gift. With $100 or more, you will qualify for the free class as well. All right. Okay, so we are going to get started making this card. I just realized that my phone is not on an additional charger. 1 second. Okay, Ryan's going to come and help get that on charger. Don't mind me. I have a cough candy today. I keep getting a tickle in my throat the last few days when I go live, and I'm not sick or anything, but maybe this will help avoid that today. All right, so I'm going to make this. I will explain all the materials and what is old, what is new, and we will get going. I have also recently shared on my page about In Color Club. So if that interests you, some of you have already registered. Thank you so much. So if that interests you or you have any questions, let me know. We have the retirement online sale coming up, and then I'm working on some other dates as well. Okay, so I have a thick white card base. It is 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. I have a 4 1/8 by 5 3/8 layer of basic. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. Ryan came in to plug in the phone. I'm so sorry about that. And brought Ruby in. She's barking in here. That's really loud. I have a pool party layer that I will cut into 3 pieces to do this triple panel. I will just tell you the measurement of that one. It is 4.5 by 3.5, I believe. Oh, 4.5 by 3 1/4. I trimmed it down. I forgot about that. Then I also have some scraps of Coastal Cabana. These layers will end up being 1 5/8 by a little over 3 3/8. I have a 7/8 by 5 1/8 strip of DSP. I have a 1/2 inch strip of DSP. This is too small, but I'm going to split it behind here. Sorry, it's really noisy here. I have a circle die cut from the Spotlight on Nature. I will show you guys those shortly. That is from the new catalog. And then I also have a scrap of black that I will use to stamp this greeting here. All right, so we're going to move these aside. I am going to keep the pool party for now, and I'll stamp this background for you guys. Do any of you have Silly Goose? There is a red sticker on here showing that this one is going to be retiring. I posted a picture yesterday of my stamp shelves. So if you would like to take a guess at how many stamp sets I have retiring from the annual catalog, I did not include the January to April in that list, but if you want to take a guess, please comment and let me know how many you think I am losing out of my 89 stamp sets. Okay, so I already have the stamp on the block, and I also have Pool Party ink ready to go. So I wanted to create a background of stamping, and I chose to use the Sending Gaggles of Good Wishes. I thought that it was kind of fitting for, like, there's gaggles of greetings on this piece here. So I went with that. I was kind of making a pun on the greeting stamp. All right, so I'm gonna just move this up here, and hopefully you guys can see that while I stamp. One of our sons left to go pick the other one up from musical rehearsal, so it's extra noisy here because the dog is making more noise while they come in the door. Sorry about that. Okay, so I'm going to stamp this along the top, not fully on the paper, and then I'm moving over about 1/4 inch each time. And then now I will go in between each of those and down a little bit. When I first stamped this, I went much too close. And then it's a lot more noticeable if your stamping isn't perfect. Oh, it doesn't have to be perfect, Kate. So I goofed there. Well, I'm actually gonna flip this over real quick. All right. It's tricky to not get my head in your view and stamp straight down, straight up every time. So we'll just do this one more time. My apologies. It's a good thing when you have double-sided paper, right? You can just flip it over and do it again. I used to tell people it was magic paper. It had two sides. Especially when I've done classes in schools. I've done fundraisers, and then when my kids were little, I helped the teachers do projects. We did some really cute ornaments in kindergarten. And when you've got so many kindergarten kids, sometimes they're not quite happy with how something turned out, so you've got to let them know it's okay. Oh, this isn't very good stamping. Some of this will be hidden, so that's okay. We've got lots of layering elements. And I'm trying to not get my head in your view, which makes it a little tricky. So lots of repeat stamping. Have any of you used your greetings to make backgrounds? I love making backgrounds. That's what I did yesterday for you guys too, with the, what was that called? Inked and Tiled. Actually, I need to announce the draw winners of the share draw as well. I have, there we go. Hi, Mireille and Audrey, Kay, Brianna. All right, so that is the background that I am going to trim down into these 3 layers. So I was just saying I need to announce the winners of the cards for the people who shared my last videos and then came back and commented. So if you would like a chance to win this card today, if you would like to share my video and then come back and comment that you did, then I'll know that you've shared it and I can enter you in the draw. So next Sunday, I will do the draws for this week. So yesterday I did the draws for everything else up until last night. So I will do this week's draws at the end of the week. Okay, so we're going to set this aside for now that that is stamped. And then I am going to stamp the goose. And I'm going to do the technique that I've done to the circle. So we will get stamping that. Let me know if you do have Silly Goose. I've had it for about a year and I haven't stamped with it until I made this card here. So I have the cute little goose with his birthday balloon, or whatever occasion you want his balloon to be for. So I'm going to ink that up with Memento. I wanted to do something with masking, so maybe I will yet. I went in a different direction with this card, but that was my original goal. So I stamped this little character on some of our masking paper. So maybe I will come up with something yet for this guy. Thanks, Ramona. So I've just stamped that in Memento ink, and then I have a collection of blends here to use. All right, so I'm going to do just a little bit. I'll bring this closer for you to see. It'll take me just a moment to make sure that it is showing up properly on my end. So just along these inside edges, there is a very thin line of gray granite, the light gray granite. It adds just a little bit of detail. And I use the bullet tip for this when I'm doing this technique, because then it just is, it's nice and fine. So I'm just adding a very thin detail with the gray granite. Now I will bring that back in so you guys can see that super fine detail with gray granite. Hopefully you can see it with the light shining right in there. Now, here is where I am using something new. So I'm bringing in a little bit of the new blends along with the old blends. So Pool Party and Summer Splash are what I'm using to color in the balloon. So I am going to add a little bit of, wrong tip there, the dark Summer Splash on the little detail here. And then I'm using the dark Pool Party. And I'm just pulling that in a little bit. So I'm just coming over these sections here where the dark Pool Party is, or light Summer Splash. Got to get this straight. And then I'm going to come over the Summer Splash again. I meant to do a little bit of dark, so I'm going to add a little bit more there. Okay, now I'm going to just blend over that, hi Brenda and Angela, with the light Pool Party and just pull that inwards. I'm right-handed, so I find it easier sometimes to just turn the paper. And then I'm just gonna just pounce a little bit over the edge, there. So bring that a little closer. So there is our balloon. Okay, so I can put these ones aside now. And then I have Daffodil Delight. I'm going to use this for the beak. I did not do much for shading here. I'm just using the brush tip. I'll bring this a little closer for you to see in just a moment. And then I'm going to do just a little dab of pumpkin pie. Hopefully you can see that. And then I'm going to color in his little feet with the Daffodil Delight again. Do you guys use blends? I love them, even for just coloring little bits like this. Now I'm going to add another little detail over his the webs there. And then I'm going to go over that one more time with Daffodil Delight. I didn't want them quite so stark. There we go. So I'll bring that a little closer so you can see what it looks like so far. Just very simple coloring. And then I have some Flirty Flamingo, and I believe it's the light. I will just double check. I have light Pretty in Pink blends. So the Pretty in Pink and the Summer, I almost said Summer in Splash, Summer Splash are the new blends that I've used. So I'm going to do just the bullet tip here. I often use the brush tip, but this is such a fine area that I am using the bullet tip. So every second line is Flirty Flamingo, and then the top is Flirty Flamingo. Oopsie. And the other lines I've done with Pretty in Pink, and I will bring this closer. I love these two colors together. I think it's a really fun combo of color. So that is all I did to color the goose. I almost called him a duck. So I will fussy cut this in a moment. I'm going to do the technique to this other one here, and I will also stamp my greeting as well. So to add just a little bit of texture to the circle, I'm just going to blend some Pool Party ink on there. And then I'm actually going to splatter some Pool Party as well. So I'm just picking up my ink with my blending brush. Now a little trick I should have thought to show you guys is if you take a block and press it on there, you get more ink on your block, and then it's easier to pick that up off your block. This may just be, like you can see there, how much more that added. So if you want to go a little easier on your shoulder, sometimes my shoulder gets a little bit sore if I'm doing a lot of blending, there's a trick that can help you with that. Whoopsie, didn't mean to close that all the way. All right, so I'm going to just move these out of the way for a moment. I am going to splatter just a little bit, and I don't want to get that all over those projects. So I'm just going to pick up a little bit of this ink here. And then just like yesterday, I am just going to use the tip of my aqua painter to splatter some little droplets. So there we go. Now we have a little bit of splatter on that circle. Now the Pool Party can go away, and I'll bring this in to do my greeting for you guys. So this is the same greeting. Can bring the card back in. It is the same greeting that I used all over this to create the background as I'm going to use here First, I want to make sure that I coat my black really well. I was telling you guys yesterday that it's better to put a lot of powder on there than not enough. It does remind, yeah, it does. It's similar to the Zucchero Ramona. I got tongue-tied there. I think that's a good point. So I'm going to clean this off real quick first. I don't want to put that pool party ink on my Versamark. So I'm just going to clean that off. I also wanted to say at the beginning that the other way that I have incorporated new is I used the sketches not in the catalog. I was telling you guys yesterday that they've given us a page with sketches on it in the new catalog. But in our after hours class that we could register for with Onstage, they gave us a booklet with directions, and that has sketches as well. So this is a sketch from there. Okay, so that's Versamark that I have stamped that with. And now I'm going to coat this with white embossing powder. Whoopsie, I have my piece of tape to tape my die cut down with. There we go. Whoops, I just about spilled all of that. And I still haven't strained out the little pieces from my white powder. Don't tell anyone. I didn't show you up real close. All right, so now we can heat set this. And then once I've heat set this, I'll bring in my little stamp cut and emboss machine to die cut this greeting. So I'm gonna use the little dies from, oh my goodness, Happy Little Things. I don't know why I was drawing a blank there for a second on what that was actually called. There we go. Now, I'm actually going to trim this down. I don't need to run this whole piece through the stamp cut and emboss machine, so I'm just going to cut some off the end, and then I can use this for other greetings. So I want to place this. I did not center this. I actually did initially, and then it was just too far out. So I purposely cut the greeting with my die placed closer to the greeting like this. Now I'm gonna just bring this closer to me for a minute so I can get this taped in place well. Okay, so I've got it about like this. Now I'm going to just move the card out of the way for a second. And bring this in. And we'll get this set up. There we go. How many of you have the mini machine and the big machine? I love this little, oh, gotta retape that. I love the little mini machine for so many things, especially these little guys. So let me know where you are watching from tonight. It is always fun to know where everybody is. You have both, Brenda? There's definitely things like this where it's super handy to just bring the little one in and not have to deal with the clunkiness of the big one. Though I for sure love the big one too, because there are of course the jobs where it's necessary. You still want the blue one? I never did get the blue one. Okay, I wanted to show you as well. These are the little greetings that come with the Happy Little Things. So you get these two little greeting dies, and look at that tiny little envelope. I have to admit the envelope doesn't thrill me. I wish that it was uniform size to all of the other ones as well, but it does suit their cuteness and it's probably more cost effective. So we'll go with that. Okay, so we now have the greeting ready to go, and I will just trim that down a little. It is going to get cut right about there. So I just trimmed a little bit off the end because it's a little bit too big. Okay, so now I need to fussy cut. I apologize. You're going to have to bear with me while I fussy cut our cute little goose. So while I'm fussy cutting, let me know where you're watching from, and let me know if there is anything on your annual catalog wish list that you still want before it's gone. And have you checked if it's in low inventory before that clearance rack update tonight? There are some things that I want, though who knows what I'll see on that clearance rack update tonight. I haven't had a chance to think about what that might be. I suspect it's going to be holiday catalog items from the last holiday catalog. Charming Sentiments and Nature's Prints. Okay, so did Charming Sentiments sell out already, Melody? I think it did. That one I'll probably hang on to, but if I am letting go of Nature's Prints, I will make sure to tell you. Now, the other thing is I will be starting the In Search Of. Some of you who don't know this, we local vendors or local demonstrators or customers and I run an online clear out sale, and then people can claim stuff in all of our albums, and then some helpers and I, some friends and I, we compile everything. So all of the vendors drop the items off. We combine each buyer's stuff into one package, send them one total, and they can either pick up at my place or we will ship to them. Now I just need to trim some off so it's easier to cut. And what we do is we post an In Search Of list in advance of the sale. So we try to match people up with the things that they want. And then when the sale goes live, people can still keep shopping and then get their stuff all at once. It's quite an undertaking, but it is also a fun challenge to complete all of that. So once we open that, Melody, don't forget to put your In Search Of items. You never know, somebody might have those. I should have Nature's Prints. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna let that one go. So I'll keep you posted. I think last year, I shouldn't tell you this, last year we had this gorgeous paper that went with it. It was navy. It was really pretty. I don't even think I got an extra package of that one before it was gone. I might be wrong, but did you see that? Oh, I should have left that balloon alone because now I just took too much off. This is where you get down to the finicky parts, right? Are you guys team fussy cutting or no? I think most people are in one camp or the other, and it is the same with bow tying. Lots of people do not like to tie bows. So I'm just trying to hold the balloon steady so I don't snip it off while I get around here and back to his hand. So this is why I was going to try a masking technique. I was going to try coloring the goose straight on the circle instead of fussy cutting it, and then I was going to mask it and do some extra stuff behind it. So I may still do that. A lot of stamp sets are selling out, so I don't have as many choices as to what I can show you guys between now and the 28th, when I will continue to do lives before we go away. And who knows, you might get the same set featured more than once if there's not a lot left to show you. There we go. And then I just need to even out this little balloon a bit after I hacked off too much. Again, you don't need to try to be so particular either if that's not your thing. There we go. Okay, fussy cutting done. Thank you for sticking it out with me and waiting for that. There we go. So there's our cute little goose. Hi, Amy. How are you? So I have done all of the stamping. Now I need to trim this piece down. I purposely sized this so that I could get 3 even cuts all the way across. So I'm going to cut this at every 1.5 inches. This is 4.5 by 3.25. So I can cut this into 1.5 inch strips now. and then that way they are even. Now, what I'm gonna do is also take this one. I don't wanna see where I goofed there, so I'm actually gonna take this one and hide it under here instead of having it be the one on this side. Normally, if this were a particular pattern, you might need to keep them in order, but these are just words. So I'm good to mix them up and rotate that one to the other end. So I'm actually going to go like this. So I'm just taking the one from this end and bringing it over here, and that's no big deal. All right, now I have my pieces of Coastal Cabana. Normally I would have cut these down to size ahead of time, but I had some help prepping this piece, and that detail was misunderstood. So we'll just do it here together. So these are 1 1/2. So now I'm going to do 1 5/8, and these are 3 1/4. So I'm going to do 3 3/8. So if this is right there, I can do this at 3 3/8. And then I should be able to get 1 5/8. I might not even need the second one. This one might be enough, and hopefully I didn't cut that too short. Yeah, this one's gonna be a little bit small. So let's see this one here. Okay, that one's long enough, so I don't wanna waste the rest. So I'm gonna just cut my short piece first, and then I can save this bigger piece as one. And there we go. Okay. So now I have 3 pieces. I apologize, I haven't put some WD-40 on that cutter yet. So now I have, try and cover up some of this clutter so you guys don't have to see all that clutter there. So these should line up now. I just want to make sure. I'll do a quick dry fit and make sure. There we go. So I have a nice reveal around all sides. What I did do, I distressed this smaller white layer. So I'm also going to distress the smaller blue layer. And how I do that is I just take my snips and just a very gentle drag back and forth on the sides. Okay. And then these can just get glued down with Tombow. All right, so I'm gonna use this. All right, so what were some of the answers? Has anybody said where they're watching from? So I'm guessing probably mostly Canada, though yesterday we had some from the UK. That was earlier in the day though, and I'm trying to think, I think it's quite late there now. So they're probably in bed. Unless they're like me and they're sleepless stampers. Okay, so we're gonna get these 3 glued down. I'm going to, which DSP is which part, Amy? This one, I stamped that background. So I used, if that's what you're asking about, I will show you that in case you missed that part at the beginning. I'm featuring Silly Goose today. So I used Sending Gaggles of Good Wishes, and I just stamped a background of greetings so that we kind of have a gaggle of the greetings to go with the goose. Nova Scotia, awesome. That is fun. I would love to get out there one day. I don't know if I've had anybody tune in from there before. So you guys are quite a bit later than we are here, I think. So we've got these all glued down. So that is our strips. And again, this is the one that I goofed on. So I'm gonna make sure that I put this one on the outside because then it will be hidden behind all of those layers there. Now I'm gonna take my white layer and I will distress the edge of this one as well. And it's just a light, you could go heavier if you want to, if you were doing this, but a lot of times when I go tone on tone, especially if there's not much difference in size from one to the other, I will distress the edges just a tad so that you get just a slight variation in the layers, especially if it's not being dimensional since they are so close in size. All right, so I am going to glue this down. I just want to make sure this is burnished a little bit better. There we go. I think these geese are so cute. I mean, in real life, they can be cute. There's at Ramona out your way, I think it is. There is a Goose. I don't know if it's back there this year, but last year it was outside one store and they had to warn customers not to go near it because it was vicious. Okay, so this basic white, same as the other day, I'm going to attach this one with Stamp and Seal Plus. I don't love using Tombow on basic white. I find it leaves a little indent in the paper. So I'm just going to use my Stamp and Seal. Just go as flush as you can with your applicator to the cardstock and then press and lift. And that should help you to not get tearing or it going off track. Okay. It's always a trick to not get my head in the way here. If you are a demonstrator, are you doing the training tonight after I'm finished my live? I strategically went a little bit early. Oh my gosh, at U of M, Amy, Ethan brings video home almost every day that he's down there. He is so entertained by the geese. And we had no idea quite what their antics were. Like the way they kind of cock their head around and make their noises is very entertaining. So he has so many videos of the geese. He's like, oh, I probably look like a bit of a fool standing around watching the geese, but they're very entertaining. As long as they're not like bothering you, right? Or it's probably us bothering them. We're in their space probably. Okay, so I am going to glue this one down on a bit of an angle. Then this one's going to go a little bit this way, and this one's going to go a little bit back inwards. I didn't do that enough on this one, but do all of you have geese where you live? I mean, they can sure make a mess. Nobody likes walking in a field that the geese have been in. That's for sure. You go to Assiniboine Park and it's like, oh, they leave little treasures everywhere, but they are so funny. I find anyway. Ethan, if you guys know Ethan, for those of you who don't, he's our older son. And he likes to do commentary, so he tells some silly stories. Or, you know, he might turn the camera. Our kids are in musical theater. He'll turn the camera back on himself and join in. Or else he gets worried about them just sitting there wondering if they're injured. So he sends us pictures sometimes. Do you think this one needs help? What do I do? I don't want to leave him. It's so cute. All right, there we go. So those three are just glued straight down. There we are. I bet, Ramona, and you are so close to where Ethan sees all of these geese. So yeah. Alrighty, so we have these 3 layers. Now I'm going to glue this one down. I just want to dry fit again to make sure that I'm going to have the proper spacing here. So I'm probably good to go at about that height there. I can just mimic my other card. It's so awesome to see all the animals coming back out again after a long winter. Actually, can't even say it was that long a winter. We had a pretty mild winter. I can't complain. If you're still there from Nova Scotia, Stacy, what is your weather like? You guys always seem to get an extended winter in comparison. Okay, now with this piece here, this one I'll backtrack. This is the Subtles DSP, and this comes in 6x6. These ones are all retiring. We're getting new prints. So if you like these existing prints, I should have showed you. I'll grab a piece here. This has the stripes on the back, and you can get all of these patterns in all of the colors. Yeah, be careful with the mamas. That is true. I think actually the one that is outside the store down on the south end of the city, I think it had babies, and that's why it was so vicious. But they really had to have a sign up and tell people, like, I think they had to go in a different door or something because it would guard the door there. All right, so all of the patterns of DSP in the color collections are retiring. Some are on sale. I don't think they've sold out yet, but this is from the Subtles collection, and that is Pool Party. This piece here is from the Rock and Roll Suite in the January to April catalog, and that paper is leaving as well. So I just used this little strip. I already had a piece that is, I think this is 3.5, but I'll give you guys the measurement. I had a piece that was already cut, so I'm just using that. Yes, it's 3.5 wide by a 1/2 inch high. I'm going to cut a 3/4 inch piece here, and I'm going to split this. So I'll put the 3/4 inch piece here and the rest over here, because the split where we won't have the full strip of paper is not going to be seen. So I don't need to worry about wasting my paper and cutting a wider piece when I can just make this work. So I'm cutting 3/4 of an inch off. There we go. Now I will place this here and this here. So I'm using what I've got, and then this is going to cover that, so no one will know. Oh, that's awesome, Melody. You're gonna have Silly Goose. I do really love this tape pattern that's on the back, the cassette tapes and speakers. I have made a card with that one. I actually contemplated using that, but parts of this suite are sold out. The paper is still available. I love the black and white patterns in this paper. So I'm just gluing these down with a little bit of Tombow. I chose not to use the Stampin' Seal for this because it's such a small piece. I didn't want to fight with it. I like having paper that you can hold and then run the Stampin' Seal. So I didn't use that here because there wasn't really much to hold. So now I'm going to dimensional this. I'll bring that closer just so you guys can see up close. So that one 3.5 inch piece, I just cut here and split it to make it work with what I wanted to make. Now I'm going to dimensional this circle here. And again, this circle, I don't think I showed them to you guys. I said that I would, and I haven't yet, so I'll bring those in. These are the Spotlight on Nature dies. I used these yesterday as well. And you get all of these plus these two patterns here, not patterns, but sizes here. I had them both out because I was trying to decide which pattern to use, but you get 3 different patterns in all of these different sizes with these ones here. I know, Amy, there's no vellum. It's sold out, so I've got to conserve that paper and not tease you guys with something you can't get. It's a little bit crushing to not have vellum. It's definitely still thought about daily in my crafting. I'll eventually get over it, but at the moment it's still pretty fresh. How about you guys? Are you vellum lovers? So that's going to go there. I'm definitely, vellum is a favorite. Hi Margaret, how are you? All right, so now this is going to go about right here. And then I am going to dimensional the little duck, but first, duck, see I called him a duck, it's a goose. Duck, duck, goose, we'll go with that. Okay, so did anyone, have all of you played Duck, Duck, Goose? I shouldn't just assume everybody knows what Duck, Duck, Goose is. Alrighty. So now I just want to make sure that, doing a quick dry fit, make sure that everything's going to turn out where I want it. So what I'm going to do here is just stick a glue dot behind, or in front of this end of my greeting. Now I am going to just tuck this here. I'm overlapping it over this black pattern just a little bit. And I'm trying to keep my duck, or goose, oh my gosh, the goose close to this end. Now I've gone and confused myself, and I keep calling it a duck. There we go. So now that's in place. And now I can dimensional the back, and then it will go down in place. Hi Hattie, how are you? And Linda? All right, so I'm going to put a few of the black dimensionals behind the greeting, and then I'll throw some white ones behind the duck. And I am going to use one where it will overlap the greeting and the duck just to help hold those in place. And then I'm going to just snip some of these ones here and put them behind our cute little goose. I think I called it a duck again. There's no hope. He's a duck now. Don't be afraid to snip your dimensionals if they're not quite the size that you need. And use those borders. I can't remember who it was, but they told us that somebody would just throw them away, those borders. They're so useful. I use them all the time. Okay, that's probably, oh, and the balloon. I knew I was needing another one. And I don't need that piece there. There we go. So now I'll bring this closer so you can see there's all these dimensionals. I am pretty generous with dimensionals, so I'm not afraid to use lots of them. That's another discussion we have frequently. How many dimensionals? One in every corner, just one in the middle? I like to use lots of, oh, and I forgot, this one here needs a double decker so that it doesn't cave down this far end here. We need to double stack this guy. So you have to pull the backings off and then sandwich them together, and then that will work nicely. I posted a photo in the comments yesterday. I was telling some of you guys yesterday that our son's friend was here building me a new shelf for my current stamps so that we can finish rearranging all these rooms here. And I posted a photo of it in the comments of the guess how many stamp sets I'm going to lose. So if you'd like to see, it's basically just a long channel. And I will post a photo of the other half of the room, what it looked like a month ago when I had a small in-person crop here as well. So I'll share that with you guys. All right, so that is all of those elements, but I do need to add my twine bow and the gems. And then after I'm all finished up here, I will announce who won the cards from the last week worth of lives. So if you want to be entered in the draw to win today's card, you can enter from other countries because it's a card. I can mail you a card. I just can't ship product. So the prize is the card that I made today. So if you would like to be entered to win, just share the video and then come back and comment that you shared so that I know you have. Facebook will show me the number of people who shared. So, you know, hopefully it matches up with the number of people that say they shared. Sometimes it doesn't, but hopefully it does. And, but that's all I can see. I can't always see who did, because if your settings are set so that some of that is private, I can't necessarily, I won't know that you did. So you just have to comment and tell me. Awesome. Thanks, Melody. So I will enter your name if you have shared the video, and then you'll have a chance to win the card. Hi, Sally. All right, so there is a white twine bow. I will still clean that up a little bit. I am just going to stick this down to a glue dot. These are actually smaller glue dots, just in case you're wondering. Now I am going to just tuck this right in here where it borders the circle and the DSP, and then you can just tuck that bow down. Now again, I need to clean this up. I've also been telling you guys that my scissors all need sharpening, my ribbon scissors. So I hope that my snips do a nice enough job when I go to use those. So that is my baker's twine bow. And then I am also using the iridescent rhinestones. These are another favorite, and these are leaving. Thanks for watching, Amy. I hope that you have fun, whatever it is you're doing tonight. Oh, I was asking earlier, are you guys watching the training that will be on in 8 minutes? I am registered, so I will be hopping right on to there after we are done the live here, after I'm done finishing up this card for you guys. And then it'll be back to more business and getting ready for that clearance rack refresh tonight. So I've got a medium and a small, and then I am going to do another medium and another small. I'm going to move this one up just a little bit. So these are on sale. I can't remember what they're discounted to, but you can see that I use certain sizes a lot. I have lots of the large and almost none of the medium. So that's, I love the medium and small. But those iridescent rhinestones, they are retiring. So if you love those, they're super versatile. This is your time to get them before they're gone. I don't know if they're in low inventory, but again, anything like that has the potential to go sold out or into low inventory when an additional sale is released, like that clearance rack tonight. So this is definitely your chance to get in on the things that you want before they're gone. If you would like anything added to my group order going in tonight, you can message me and I will add it. I will be staying up until the clearance rack goes live. If you wish to take advantage of the clearance rack and you're a night owl like I am, you can always go shop directly online. If you use my host code here, a $65 purchase gets you a free gift, and a $100 purchase will get you the free gift and my free exclusive class that goes with those. I do also want to quickly announce the winners of last week's share draws. So first was the Encircled in Nature card that I did as the shoebox swap at the Share What You Love event last weekend. This one was won by Ramona. So Ramona, I have some mail to send you. If your name is called as a winner, please message me your address so that I can be sure to put it in the mail for you. This card was the first one of the daily series, Something Old, Something New. And this one was won by Margaret. So I'm not sure if you're still here or not, Margaret, but this one is for you. So if you message me your mailing address, I can pop this in the mail for you. And I have a catalog to send you too, so I can put it in there for you. Then I have this one that was day 2 of Something Old, Something New. This is Marvelous Nature. You can still catch the replay on any of these cards if you want to go back and see them. And this one was also won by Ramona. Thank you guys for sharing. Then I have day 3 of Something Old, Something New. This one was won by Melody. So Melody, I will be sending you this one. If you can send me, you're welcome, Margaret. If you can send me your address, I will put this in the mail for you. Or yeah, I'll put it in the mail for you. That's more fun. I do have your stuff that you left behind, your card and your 3D share that you brought to the Share What You Love event. So I can give those to you another time, but I can pop the card in the mail so you get some fun mail if you'd like. All right, so if your name was called as a winner, please message me your mailing address. I'll put those in the mail for you. And if you don't have a catalog yet, I will send that along too. Thank you guys so much for tuning in tonight. I will sort out what time tomorrow and comment, or I'll post it for you guys. We haven't decided yet if tomorrow will be 1:30 or in the evening. We're just juggling a lot of things with different jobs getting done around here at the moment. We have somebody coming tomorrow to work on some stuff, and I don't know exactly what time they're coming yet. So I will post an update. I will be back live tomorrow, and I will bring you some more Something Old, Something New. Thanks again, everybody. Have a good night.